Hello and welcome to the latest dressing room debrief, where I will review Chelsea's latest 2-1 win over Leicester that keeps them third in the table. Yeah, and it was a routine win for Chelsea. I thought they didn't get out of second gear. They won quite comfortably. I thought Leicester were quite flat. There were some really nice passages of play, particularly when we decided to speed up a bit and not play so slowly on the ball. Leicester couldn't really handle it. There was some nice, some particularly in midfield with Enzo Fernandez, João Felix, Caicedo. There was some nice, movement and Cucurella cutting into that inverted role. I thought that Cole Palmer was a bit quiet again, but you can't expect him to be amazing every game considering he's still young and that we rely on him quite heavily. I thought that although he was quiet, he still should have got a goal if Noni Madueke hadn't blocked his shot on the goal line. And yeah, and I thought that there was an awful tackle from Ndidi on the back of Palmer, and I thought, to be honest, that it was one of those tackles that looked like it was meant to danger the opponent. I thought the ball was nowhere near. He was on his left foot rather than his right foot, and indeed tackled him from behind, quite high up on the back of the leg, and the ball was nowhere to be seen. And it just looked like it was a foul. It was meant to leave one on him, and I thought it was quite nasty. So I thought that was a red card. And I don't really know why VAR decided it wasn't. Um, but yeah, I thought that Cucurella and Caicedo are really also becoming those players now where they've near enough nailed a spot in the starting lineup because I think they're playing so well that you can't really drop them. I think they're becoming undroppables. I think they're, your staples when you look at the starting 11 before when the team sheet comes out before the game, because they're just flawlessly doing so well at the moment. Yeah, I thought Nicholas Jackson goal was very good. That touch was phenomenal to take it past the defender and then with the outside of his boot, putting it into the far corner. But it was the speed in which he done it at was great. One criticism I have is that we should have scored more and put the game to bed really early on. And obviously we've struggled with that over the past season, so that's still a bit of a flaw in the team that we don't score the goals we should to put games to bed. Especially when it's one or two goals in it when we should be about three or four. That's one concern I do have. I don't really know what Steve Cooper was flapping his gums about, to be honest, complaining for no reason, really, saying that they should have got another penalty. I thought that the referee made the right decision. Fana just stood still, and indeed Malvididi, right, sorry, ran into him. Never a penalty. If you give that as a penalty, you're giving anything. You'll be given five or six penalties a game. Um, so I don't really know what he's complaining. I think he was sort of deflecting from the flat Leicester performance, to be honest, because complaining about the referee didn't really cut him when Leicester weren't exactly great. I thought João Felix, to be fair, looked lively. I haven't been too impressed with him since he's come back, but then he hasn't had much game time. But yesterday I sort of is the João Felix I want to see where he's sort of everywhere, involved in the build up, in the link up play. Looks pretty nimble. Yeah, he had a chance where he just smashed it wide. Maybe he could have done better, but yeah, I'm seeing promising signs. We could see Sancho back on the bench yesterday too, after returning back to the squad after injury or illness or whatever it was he had. And I just want to talk about Enzo Fernandez again, proving the critics wrong, showing how good of a player he is. I think in the last few weeks when he's come on as well from substitute bench, he's controlled the game and he's showing that everyone how good he is on the ball because he is quality on the ball, and that's why we bought him. I think physically he's not just there yet, which is why I think Maresca opts for Lavia and Casado in the middle, particularly in the big games where we need to get about the pitch, we need to be physical, and Enzo can't really do that. However, I do think he's improving on that as he showed when he came on against Arsenal in the second half. And I just think on the ball he's just outstanding and controls play. And I think ideally his best position is in front of Lavia and Casado, but that means it will come at the cost of, say, a Palmer or one of the wingers. I'd be tempted to, when Palmer finds a bit of form again, playing Palmer on the wing and putting Enzo in front of the two holding midfielders, because Enzo Fernandez on the wall is just different class. And Palmer is obviously different class, and he plays well coming in from that wing and cutting across. So Yeah, I think that going into Villa at home, we've got Heidenheim before that in Europa League, which, shouldn't cost us too many problems. But Villa's the big game on the Sunday, early kick-off, 1:30, where we really need to cement and lay a marker out and saying we're, competing in them top spots.